My name is Ro. So I graduated this year in May, and I graduated with BSc Environmental Sciences and a year in industry. This is something that I'm still exploring, but currently I identify as non-binary. I go by they, them pronouns. And for those who don't know what non-binary is, that is essentially where you maybe don't feel like you fit in the man category, you don't feel like you fit in the woman category, but you fit on somewhere on that spectrum. And for some people, it's a sliding scale. For some people, it might sit right in the middle. Some people, it might sit completely off the spectrum. So I'm non-binary and I'm also pansexual, which means that I'm attracted to people based on their personality and their appearances rather than their gender and their sex. I'm now working in 2 paid internships, so both are kind of my part-time positions. So one, I work with Norwich Science Festival, which is a big festival in Norwich, which celebrates science and encourages diversity in science. And then the other company I work for is the Youth STEM Award. If you've not heard of us, we are like a science version of Duke of Edinburgh. So we encourage 13 to 19-year-olds into science by partaking in activities outside of their school programme. Within both roles, I'm kind of events manager, communications officer. I do lots of social media work, and I pull in my own diversities into these roles. So I reflect upon my own struggles to kind of encourage diverse students into science as well. So in terms of skills that you need for these jobs, so you need really excellent communication skills. You need to be able to get into the brains of people that use social media, which I think we all have, don't we? And think, okay, what are they going to engage with? What pictures look great? What content would they like to see? How do we encourage diverse people into science? The biggest challenge for me was non-binary with the pronouns and the alternative name. So I have a legal name which I need to obviously share with my work for kind of payroll purposes, but then my preferred name, which is Ro, is something that I would prefer to be referred to in day-to-day living. So I found it really important to communicate that with my employers from early on. So even before the interview stage, when I'm writing in applications, I made it clear that my legal name was very different to my preferred name, and I'd prefer to use my preferred name on a daily basis. And in terms of introducing pronouns too, there are some companies out there which are absolutely excellent and understand that people go by different pronouns, and I use they, them. But there are also companies that are maybe quite new and quite unfamiliar to this. So I found it really important the first time around when contacting the company to not only include my pronouns in my email signature, so underneath my name, but also include just like a web link to a web address that kind of explains a bit more about pronouns and why it's really important to understand them and refer to them in a daily basis. And I would implore you to be confident about that, because everybody has their right to be referred to on what they want to be. Do I have any advice for settling into the workplace as LGBTQ+? I think one thing that I've done is I've encouraged the workplace to use pronouns in their email signatures, because we're quite an external facing company. We're engaging with new customers and people of all different diversities. Generally, it's really great practice to put your pronouns in your email signature, whether you're identify with the pronouns you had at birth or ones that you now have. That's really important. I think with Pride Month coming along, well, it's already been, hasn't it? I think definitely if that's something that you want to celebrate too at work, that's fantastic. I tend to find in after work socials too, I find that being queer is a really great way to bond with new people, because usually there's somebody else in the workplace that might be queer too, and you can kind of form a little friendship over that too. But again, be loud and proud as much as you want. Be confident at work. You know, for example, if you're talking about your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your partner, again, don't be ashamed, you know, to announce who they are. So I think my hot tip again would be to be as proud as you fancy, because not all of us are going to be confident in sharing our diversities for many different ways. I've personally found that taking quite a loud approach generally makes me quite an attractive employer, because in the field of work I'm working on, people are looking for diverse employees, because we're trying to attract diverse people into our organisations. So by me highlighting my LGBTQ plus status, it has actually made me a little bit more attractive, because they know that I can be used as a platform to engage more people from the Pride community. So be loud and as proud as you want, and don't be shameless, because actually if the company doesn't accept you for who you are, then that suggests that it's the company's problem, not your own.